Good morning, everyone. I am still working on getting like fully fighting fit. I really felt like I turned a corner yesterday, and it's not been the one. And what I've actually found this time I've been getting ill is that my eyes have actually been swelling up. But so first of all, it was this eye, and then that went down yesterday, and then today it is this eye. So I definitely think it's something to do with my sinuses. But anyway, we're fine. We're soldiering on and feeling much better today. I've got to take the dogs to the vets at some point today, but I'm just trying to take things a little bit easier, because nothing reality checks you like getting ill. It's always an instant shot of gratitude for me that I am a inherently well person, and it always makes me realize that like, it just honestly makes me think of all of the people right now that are dealing with something like ill health, or someone they love is dealing with, or someone at the door. That was the door going, and it looks like a delivery of flowers, so I will 110% get those open with you. But what I wanted to say was, if you're dealing with someone that has ill health, my heart is going out to you, because this is always the biggest reality check for me. How, you know, when you just get so complacent with being a healthy person, and I know I have been talking about health so much, and you know, it almost makes you feel like you are invincible, and you are not. But I have done my absolute best, eating well, drinking lots of fluids, that kind of thing, to try and get myself back to normality. But I would say that the book that I'm listening to at the moment has really helped as well, just even with my own mindset, but just with relation to everything. I'm finding that The Daily Stoic is one of those books that I am like, this is life-changing if you are able to listen to this, really absorb it and apply it to your own life. It is the best book. Like, anyone that says that The Secret is the best book, no, this is the book that everybody needs in their life. It's phenomenal. And then obviously Evergreen afterwards, but yeah, no, it's just such an amazing book, and just helps check yourself, be really, like, what's the word, like, realistic with yourself, but also just so brilliant. Anyway, let's see who these flowers are for. Now, these flowers say to Ali and Lydia Millen Gordon. Now, because Ali is not here, that means they're just for me. That's the rule. When you're not here, that's the rule. So, there's some flower box though. Now, what I want to try to achieve today is not a lot, but I want to show you everything that's arrived whilst I've been poorly in bed, because I took the opportunity to tick lots of things off my list that I needed to, like, order. So things like new pots for the kitchen, because our pots are atrocious, and we need, oh, kissing Yuki, how lovely. Ooh. Oh wow, what a gorgeous bouquet. This is like lavender and roses. I'm guessing those are some notes from within the fragrance. A very cute little posy. I think I'll put that in a little pickling jar. I've got some flowers here that I still need to arrange from Next, this is their charity bouquet. So I've got a little bit of flower arranging to do before we get into anything else. And we've got the fragrances, which, this is Solar Lavender. I love where I'm like, oh, it's got lavender in it, and then I'm like, Solar Lavender. Honestly, Lydia, my brain has not been working in the way that it should. Izzy Miyake always reminds me of an ex-boyfriend, because I feel like it was such an of the moment. That obviously this is their new one, but their original one is just like, I feel like no girl does not have a memory of a boy wearing that fragrance. My gosh. Might I add, that was not me saying that I had negative feelings attached to the fragrance, because I have no negative feelings to any of my ex-boyfriends, because I am so grateful for all of them. I just wanted to share that, because I know that that's kind of the normal narrative that people have around exes, is that they're like, oh, and it's like, people hurt you. I've been hurt, absolutely. There are experiences that we live through that are really difficult, but I don't want to be someone that harbours negative energy, where negative energy was aimed at me. That doesn't mean I hold on to it. And so all of my ex-boyfriends, I can now look back and be like, okay, I learned that from you. I learned to respect myself a little bit more because you treated me like that. I learned not to stand for that because you treated me like that. No, there's no one at the door. I look like I was barking then. I learned to walk a little bit taller because I decided that this was best for me in that relationship, or whatever. And so just want to preface that when I say that it smells of an ex-boyfriend, that is not because I feel any negative feelings to that ex-boyfriend whatsoever. In fact, I'm grateful that I'm able to have that memory nudged by a fragrance and take me back and just remind me of that moment. So yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to clarify that. I'm going to get these flowers into some water because they look like they need some. We are going into the little jar cupboard. What are we going to use? What shall we use? I'm thinking a little something like this of red roses could be quite nice. Now, absolutely, I should, at the very least, be arranging these flowers in the laundry room, if not in my greenhouse. However, I'm taking things easy. Oh, they're ranunculus, they're not roses. Gorgeous. That'll do for now. And I think I'm going to need a bigger vase for this little one. And I might take the pussy willow out, just because I love tulips on their own. I think they look so lovely on their own. They're like one of those flowers that just doesn't need any faff, I don't think. Such a happy flower. Now, I'm trying to give myself a little bit of a buffer by showing you the bits and pieces that arrived whilst I was in bed, but I do need to sort the house out a little bit. It's so much easier when it's just me in the house because there's so much less stuff, but I need to do the dishwasher, reload the dishwasher, wipe down all the surfaces, and just have a bit of a zhuzh so that my space is clear. So I think that's what I'm going to do first, and again, gives me a bit of a buffer. Right, the kitchen is beautifully refreshed. You might also have noticed that my Norfolk Blueware little chicken plate is now above the cooker. That is because, I don't know if you can see, no, you probably can't, but now this is definitely not the finished vibe, but there is a vase up there that I have received and I'm just trying to place it in this room because the colours, the blue against the green always looks so beautiful and considered. So yes, let me know what you think, but I feel like it's very cute with the little chicken plate above there and then the eggs below. Maybe that's just me. I do need to have a bit of a declutter of the kitchen, but I found this, I think it's a tobacco urn on eBay. eBay has such good stuff, and I loved the fact that it was more of like an it's like an off-white, so this is almost the same colour as our cabinetry. And the blue on it just feels so much softer when it's against not a white background. And it was a bit of a steal, so I picked this up because initially it was supposed to be for my office, but we shall see. We've not even started on the office yet. I just obviously showed you the design in my Holland Cooper video. And then when I put it up there, it looked so lovely that I put that up there, and I feel like that looks really nice up there. But maybe it's just me, so I'm still trying to decide on the placement of this, like whether that should go there and that should go here. Who bloomin' knows? But I'm still trying to decide. So that's one of the things that I picked up whilst I was unwell. And then my new delivery from Borough Kitchen. So just to show you, we have had these pans for far too long. I don't even know what the brand of the, oh, there we go. Circulon, I don't even know. And I don't know if you can see, that is very, very bad for you. And it has been like that for too long. That's what I'm gonna say, too long. And I asked for a set of the beautiful copper Morviel pots for Christmas. However, they don't do induction, but I picked us up some new frying pans when I was at Dalesford because we had a voucher for Christmas. And this brand does copper that is for induction. It is more expensive than Morviel, but hopefully they will last longer. So this is the Dubai Dupuis 1830, and I picked up 2 different ones just to see how we get on. That would have been expensive enough. Because now we're using better quality materials when we're cooking, it does often mean that you will need to hand wash these things. But now that we're doing that anyway, it makes no difference. So what I did was I got a big one and I got a small one, and I didn't get the in-between one. We shall see how we get on with that. But it looks bloomin' gorgeous. Now the only thing, I'd like some advice on this. Obviously these say induction, and sometimes our induction hob does not, oh my gosh, look at that. It's the handle for me that I love. It looks like I've just found it in an antiques shop. So heavy, so weighty, made in France. And it does say induction on the bottom, but the only thing I'm noticing is that sometimes it doesn't register, and I think it's because our hob is probably quite old and maybe needs to be updated. I don't know, but Ali seems to think that it's the pots. I don't seem to think so. Let me see if I can show you. It might be better with these ones. See, I wouldn't have a hob if I had it my way. So let's put that on there. Yeah, can you see it's not registering it? So that should stop flashing. But this is an induction hob. So I don't understand. Do I have to go down maybe? Let's try a different one. Aha, this one seems to have worked. It's so bizarre. Some of them work, some of them don't. So this, very strange, but that's the issue that I have with them at the moment. Do you think that that is a user error? Or is that just the fact that our hob is too old and we probably need to get a new one, which is not ideal, but you have to do these things. Anyway, let's do the lid as well. This is what you would do a little bit of sauce in, a little bit of scrambled eggs, you know. Oh, it's very weighty as well. I love them. And then I just got the bigger one as well. You know? I'd say that's medium. So perhaps we need to get the big one. Me shopping for home stuff is ridiculous. However, we have our Le Creuset, which I would say is like the thing I would use if I need something bigger. It's just blooming gorgeous. So nice. There you have it. A medium size and a small size, not a big size. But what I love about spending a bit more money on your kitchen utensils is that when they're out and about, you can leave them out in your kitchen and they don't disrupt how the kitchen actually looks, which I think is beautiful. Like when you see kitchens with all of their pots and pans on display and they're all old, and these ones particularly, when you wash them, they get a little bit of a patina, and it always looks really, really lovely. So for me, keeping your utensils as almost part of your decor is part of the fun of interiors as well. So, because speaking of which, one of the things that I want to do is try and utilise our pantry a little bit better. Big houses will have a walk-in pantry, but we don't have a walk-in pantry. I wish I did, and it is a dream to one day have a walk-in pantry. But I do have, this is not me saying I'm not fortunate, I have this, which is our pantry cabinet. So behind this door is our fridge, and behind that one is our coffee machine and all of our jars and food storage. But these cubby holes, they were styled a couple of years ago, and I almost feel like there's a way that we can style them differently so that they fit the style of the home but still provide a function, like lots of mismatched little jars with seeds and nuts in, because as I was saying in my last video, I need more storage now. We don't have any room left for any seeds. I've only got chia seeds and poppy seeds and flax seeds, and I've got loads more seeds coming to go in here, so we're all out of space. And so I'm just wondering if there's a better way to utilize these cubby holes. I'm going to look on Pinterest and see what I can find. But just, you know, jars like this, all on different shelves, all labelled beautifully. Obviously putting these old vine tomato jars to good use as well. Like things like that are just so useful. But obviously doing it in a curated way is what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to get at anyway. I also picked up a few bits from Burford. I could not resist this pottery collection that they had. So gorgeous. They've got this little bowl for our scrambled eggs in the morning as well, because it's got a little spout on it, because we have a small one but it's not big enough, and that's more of like a measuring one, whereas for me this, to just whip up some eggs, mix in some chives, some herbs, what have you, that would be super easy. So I got that for us. Loved the colour of it as well, and I felt like it goes quite nicely with the items that we already have that are toasted, and it doesn't look too sort of dissimilar. And a little dish, I got 2 of these because I thought these would be nice for like serving veg, for Sunday roasts, things like that. It doesn't say if they're dishwasher safe, so I'm assuming that they are not, but I wish they were. And I also, we went to a little sort of, it's like the Reclaimed Home Fair in Chipping Norton, and it's very small, but there was an artist there and I could not resist these. They were so pretty, and obviously I've got like these little petunias on my table, and they're just, the colours with these more muted tones in the background match with our decor. I couldn't resist those. The foxgloves. Now I don't know where I'm going to put them. Perhaps I'll save these for my office, who knows, but I'm not allowed to buy any art. It used to be handbags. Now I'm not allowed to buy art. Welcome home, Lummy. There is so much space in this house, and yet when Mummy's in the wisteria room, we are all in the wisteria room. Look at this one. One of her favourite places to sleep. Now I have some homemade chicken broth that I can finish up. I also have some watermelon, so I'm going to have this with some sourdough, and then have the watermelon as a dessert. I'm also going to pop some of my little micro herbs onto the soup as well. I had it last night and it was so good, so I'm just going to finish this off before I take the dolls. Not the most beautiful of layouts, because I wasn't going to make another bowl dirty when I could have just heated it up in this. So that's my lunch. Quickly going to wolf this down and then load up the troops. Reason number 3,455 of why I hate golf. When my husband plays, he never puts the dog's bed back in the car. So I've just had to do it myself, and I am running out of time. So my enjoyable soup moment was cut short.
The pragmatist, the person of action, is too busy to waste time on such silliness. The pragmatist can't worry about every possible outcome. And on that note, I'm going to listen to Barkley sing and drive to the vets. Best case scenario, if the news turns out to be better than expected. And what better use could you make of that time? A day that could be your last. You want to spend it in worry? In what other...
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if ever that was a lesson in life, I fully accept. So As I mentioned, Ali had taken the car seat out of the car, but I had given myself, luckily, 45 minutes to get ready, and it was a half an hour journey, so I had 15 minutes to load up the car, get the dogs in the car, and drive over to my appointment. Now it takes us half an hour to get to the vets that we go to, because the vets that we go to is half an hour away, but we go there because it's really good and they're really good with the animals, and we really appreciate that. But we do try and keep it to a minimum that we're taking them that far, because Porter gets car sick. So anyway, I arrive, they say, who have we got here? And I say Porter and Barkley, and they're like, your appointment was at 3 o'clock and not 3:15. And in that moment, I was like, oh gosh, I'm so sorry, I didn't know. And she said, so we're only going to be able to do one of them today. And I said, instead of going, what? Kicking off, like, what of? I'm only this late, blah, blah. I've said, I fully understand. And I've sat down. And do you know what's happened? They've done them both anyway. Now, I like to think it's because I kept my... Sorry about that, my battery went. It's just a day of it, isn't it? Now, I'm not saying that they did that because I kept my cool, but I do like to think that those kinds of things often help people if they have the opportunity to help you make the decision to actually do it. And she did both of the dogs for me. So, and what happened in that moment was that I didn't get myself all aggravated. I didn't get them any more aggravated than they rightfully were, because my system had failed me. So I have a system in place for booking things, but the only person whose responsibility that is mine, and it hadn't worked. We'd got the time wrong. Therefore, I had got the time wrong. Therefore, I only have myself to blame for not checking it, and rightfully, I've wasted their time, and rightfully they are to be annoyed at that. So I'm not going to get annoyed at them for something that they are rightfully able to do. All I can do is accept that situation for what it is, and I've accepted it. I've accepted that one of the dogs is going to have to come back another day. If I think about it carefully, Porter can be vaccinated now. I'll take Barkley home. And when they can do Barkley, I'll just take Barkley back so that Porter doesn't have to get car sick. However, they've done them both, and nobody lost their cool. And I have no doubt in my mind how easily that situation could have been really different. And when I say, and I will say it until I'm blue in the face, acceptance literally sets you free. And in that moment, I've never done that so quickly. I've never not gone straight for the exasperated response. I went straight for the response that keeps me peaceful, and that was acceptance. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is when you know you are growing as a human. When your mind goes there straight away, before you've even had to go through the motions. It's like what Mo Gaudat says. Muscle memory works for your brain as well. And the more you practice living like this, the more it just becomes normal life. And that's like one of those moments where I'm like, I'm gonna sit on the sofa tonight, and I'm gonna be able to know that that was such a huge moment for me. And I really hope that there are many more of those moments where I'm wrong, and I have to accept that I'm wrong, and I'm not going to upset myself or the other person because of that. Oh, powerful. Oh. I'm having a real faff in the kitchen when I should be cooking dinner, and I should be making mayonnaise, and I should be making energy balls. I'm faffing. I'm taking some of these out of the pantry and onto here. This is the kind of thing that I was thinking to make better use of the space, so that I'm actually I don't want it to just be full of glass jars. I want it to feel very pantry-esque, but just getting a better use, some better books there. Yeah, I quite like how it looks as well. Do you think that these are too tall for in the cubby holes though? Because they do a slightly shorter version, and I could maybe do a few rows as well so that it doesn't look so picture perfect. So I could actually order loads more and have a lot more in the pantry that I'm using. Oh, summoned by the saucer. Good evening, my little chicken puddings. You might be able to tell from the sound of my voice, not the look of my face, but the sound of my voice, that we are almost back to normal. I don't know what's going on with my eyes. I think I've basically fallen ill, got a sinus infection, and anytime I'm around any kind of pollen, it's really irritating. So my eyes are swollen. You should see me in the morning. In fact, I'm going to insert a picture of what I look like this morning that I sent to Carrie. I can't believe I do myself like this, but here we go. So swollen, so swollen. And it's at that point in time when I'm like, I am so grateful for these. These are from Beauty Pie. Oh my goodness me. They really, really help. Today has been a manic day at the house. So I'm speaking to you this evening. Mr. Millen Gordon is on his way home and I shall be catching up with him very, very shortly. But my house is absolutely glorious. It is so organized, cleaned to within an inch of its life. I even have some fresh chili on. That dog just honestly thinks he owns the place. Look, just a quick round of the garden to tell someone off, and then he will run back inside, maybe have a little tinkle and then run back inside. He doesn't know who he's telling off. It's probably one of the finches. Anyway, I have a fresh chili on the stove, and I don't know whether I'm going to eat that. Am I going to make myself an asparagus risotto? Because I could just package that up and save it. Who knows? However, one thing I am going to do this evening is I am finally going to make with you homemade granola. So I've got a recipe on my Thermomix, but I got this book called Wild Sweetness when I was at Burford, and there's a granola recipe in there that has rose petals in it, and I just thought I'm just going to make this recipe and I'm going to add some rose petals to it, and that is what I'm going to do. So I've got a whole load of dried edible rose petals that I'm going to decant into my pantry, or I was going to. I am going to decant into my pantry because I have a spare little pasta jar here, and I have to show you the progress of my pantry. I have had a little wee style up. I don't know what Mr. Millen Gordon is going to say when he gets home, but this is where we are at the moment. It means I'll be able to get a load more of these pantry jars on the shelves. It doesn't even just have to be kept to 3. You know, we can double them up, we can have loads on there. I think it's a much better use of space. There's not usually bread in here. I want the bread to be kept down here so that it's like the bread station, because it just looks very nice not having all of the cubby holes filled. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I've had a bit of a tidy up of this space as well. Everything is just feeling very, very clean and fresh at the moment, so I'm feeling good. I've just ordered a load more like pantry storage and food storage, because we're storing so much goodness at the moment that I don't have enough blooming glassware and things to store things in, so that is let's fill her up. Oh, they smell incredible. This little guy makes me so happy. This is my label maker. If you don't know about it, it makes the best labels, and everything just looks so good, and I've used it so much, and it's just so pretty. Let's see if I can do this justice without Mr. Millen Gordon's measuring thingamajig. He'll hate it, but it's done. Right, let's start. I've got the doors open, by the way, because all I can hear is the wonderful birds, and it's putting a real pep in my step. And that is the word of the day. So let's get all my ingredients to make my own granola. Thank you for your services, Nimbot. You have been most helpful. Oh, voilà, Potty. Oh, the pheasants. We have wildflower honey. We have rose petals. This is going to be my wildflower granola because it just says normal honey, but I went for wildflower honey. Cashews. We've got almonds. We have hazelnuts. What we just don't have is a lot of seeds. But I'm going to put some flaxseed, even though that's milled. Is that okay? Rolled oats. Roll. Roll it, gal, roll it, gal, roll. You can tell I have been cocooning for the last few days and my energy is back. Now I'm going to grab my book because there are two things to consider in this recipe. One, I have never made my own granola before. Two, I have never made my own granola before with rose petals. Therefore I need to know where the rose petals sit within the recipe. Do we just add them at the end? What do we do? Mulled wine ice cream. This book is by far one of the most beautiful books I have ever seen. Late summer cake. Oh! Orange blossom creme caramel. Rose walnut chocolate chip cookies. White rose cake. Oh! This one I loved. Elderflower zabaione. So zabaione is like something that I grew up on as an Italian, okay? It's like this thing, my mum was trying to explain it to Ali the other day what zabaione was, but he was like, it's what now? The fact that I saw that in this book, elderflower zabaione, I'm going to be making this. Oh, petal granola. So the fruit literally, so the petals literally go in at the end. Perfect. So, research done. We've got dates, so it's going to be like preheat oven. Roll, roll it, gal, roll it, gal, roll. Let's just get into it. Find 2 large baking trays with paper. Drawer of paper. 100 grams of mixed nuts. So I'm going to go in with 25 of cashews, 25 of almonds, 25 hazelnuts, and 25 macadamia. 300 grams of rolled oats, so 80 grams of mixed seeds. I'm just going to go 60 grams of sunflower seeds. Pro tip, if you have a Thermomix, whiz these first if you're going to have to cut up dates, because you can just very easily whiz these first. I just can't be bothered to stop the recipe, so I'm just going to do it by hand. But I would just say, before you start the recipe, whiz these up in your Thermomix and they'll be nicely cut, ready. So you don't have to do this manual labour. And the final bit, the wildflower honey. Oh, that is gorgeous honey. Oh my goodness, that honey, if you ever wanted to try what the Millen Gordon honey tastes like, that is your closest opportunity. It's amazing. Obviously, when we have our next load of honey, I will be making this with our honey, but we've just finished. Made a mess, I've made a mess. smells incredible. We're now going to bake it for 15 to 20 minutes, and we are going to stir every 5 minutes. So let's do this. And whilst that bakes, I'm going to tidy up my pantry. Whilst we wait, lavender scones, petal granola. How much petals am I going to be putting in? A handful of dried rose petals. Perfect. But just look at the photos of this book. So this is Flora, the floral section. And then, no, this is one that I really want to try. Basil sugar pound cake. Oh my goodness, that sounds so, I love a green cake. Cantucci, oh, see, evergreen. Oh, love it. Is that you trying to tell me that you would like me to move your bed to the hotspot? Is that what you were trying to tell me, my small? So pretty. Oh my gosh, it smells amazing. Look at how pretty that looks. Oh, this with kefir yogurt. My goodness me. Well, that's it all packaged up and labelled up, my rose petal granola. Very proud. It tastes delicious. You can obviously add more honey and sweetness to it if you want to. I don't like anything that's too sweet. So for me, this is just perfection with yogurt, with fruit, berries, all of that kind of stuff. This is going to be such a lovely topping to morning yogurts, which I'm really, really excited about. Oh, and it's homemade. And then when we get some more honey, hopefully, fingers crossed this year, I will be able to make it with my own honey. I've lit all the candles in the house, and I am now heading up to pack my bag for tomorrow because I've got Pilates in the morning. And this week we have another milestone. I think I told you about it in a vlog. I obviously told you about me going to a class on my own, which is something that I would never normally do, and it was quite momentous for me. Well, this is going to be an even more momentous day because I am going to farmhouse in the morning completely on my own. So not only am I not doing the class with anyone, but I'm not going with anyone because I'm going to go do my Pilates class on my own. Then I'm going to do some lengths on my own and pick up sourdough, all of those kind of bits and pieces. And it's kind of momentous. I'm growing in confidence, but do you know what that is from? That is from not being scared anymore. And, oh, I turned off all my lights. That was a little bit scary. It's from not being scared anymore, and I wanted to sort of talk about a lot of the comments that I've been getting, lovely comments, such lovely comments on my videos about how much you guys are enjoying my vlogs, and I hope you know that this is not a humble brag. Hold on, let me change my battery, otherwise I can't concentrate. Yeah, so not a humble brag, you know, all of the lovely comments that I'm getting recently. But more than anything, it is, it's lovely for me to read because I feel different. It's been a journey feeling this different because I started this year, and I remember the day that I went to go and see Jacqueline and we did the video and we went for lunch afterwards, and she was like, so how are you? And I was like, I don't really know because I don't feel scared anymore. And I'm scared that I don't feel scared because I should feel scared. I should be cautious. And she was like, no, that sounds like you've found peace to me, Lydia. And I was like, interesting. Because I feel like it was almost like a numbness, but not numb to like the joys of life, but just, I think I'd lived in fear for such a long time. And fear of silly things, like really, really silly things, but just natural things that maybe we as humans have not caught up with the things that we're exposed to. Like if you think about it, 20 years ago, none of us were worried about being cancelled on the internet. None of us were worried about internet pylons and things, not pylons as in pylons. None of us were scared of things like that because they didn't exist. the most you were going to be exposed to was maybe some humiliation at school or at work, and I mean that was humiliating, like, don't get me wrong. So we just weren't really equipped for what was coming. I certainly wasn't, but it meant that I learned things the hard way. I learned a lot of really hard lessons the hard way, and now I look back and I promise you, and I said it in my podcast with Grace, every single one of those experiences, from the first time I experienced an internet pylon when I mentioned about us having +1s on brand trips, and it lasted for 4 days, and I remember sat on the floor in my little house in Milton Keynes, shaking and crying because it felt like the end. And that was, what, 9 years ago? I thought it was the end, and it wasn't the end. And there were going to be many more moments to come where I experienced the ferocity of humans in mass. And I've experienced it so many times now, so many times, that naturally you get to a point where you're not scared anymore. You learn so much about who you are, and you learn so much about the people around you. Like, I can't tell you the people that I like considered friends that let me down in those moments, and I'm not saying that as like a negative to them, because we're all just doing our best. But I had these beliefs and these attachments and these feelings and friendships, whatever, for these people that were not reciprocated, and I got to learn that and see that and really experience it. I only came up here to tell you that I bought some stuff from Reese, you know, and so I thought I'd try some of them on with you, because they arrived when I was poorly, and I thought, you know what, let's try them on together. I wanted to buy some like nice summery trousers, and then there was a green pair of trousers, but these are like different. These are not like my tucking in the boots trousers. These are like some sort of, they're a bit more like loose. Oh, nice. Oh, what is this? I feel like this is a bad length. Green pair, which these are even more green than normal, and they still look brown on this camera, but it's probably because of the lighting. I think I got the same trousers in like an off-white ivory. So you'll know I've got these in like straight legs. They're very lovely soft denim, and also Reese has started doing brands. They've got like Paige denim on there and stuff like that. So these are like a white jean. I thought this would be so cute with just like a little cami in summer and some cute tan accessories. Then these, I think these will go back, because these are a little bit oversized. And potentially, oh, good length though, very good length. Oh, I quite like those, Lou. But these I will definitely keep. These are like a sort of taupey colour of the same trouser. Who knew that I would be a longer leg from Reese? These are quite, well, they're good when you're like stood still, but I feel like they're a bit like ankle swingery when I walk. Yeah. I feel like they're not wide and they're not long, and so they're just a little bit in between, but I actually really like the fit, so I might try getting, see if they've got a longer leg, because I just went for a regular, but I mean, they're perfect if you don't like scuffing your shoes, but I quite like if you don't, they're perfect if you don't mind scuffing your heels, but not heels, your jeans. But I'm partial to a bit of a scuffed jean. I mean, they're not horrendous. They just feel a bit meh. I think these will have to go back, but I love the colour. I've just popped them with a little end peel cashmere t-shirt. So if you can see my bra, you didn't see nothing. Feel like Jesus. I do feel like Jesus in these, in this all white look, but I actually really like it. But I think I need like a longer length, just for my own peace of mind, you know. And they're very cute. Where are my accessories when you need them? I feel like when I walk, they're like really flappy. They fit really nicely and they are so comfortable. I love them. If you can see my black knickers, you didn't see nothing. I just feel like they need like 2 centimeters longer because I really want to hold them, wear them like higher, and they just feel very swingery around the shoes. But I actually love them as a fit, and they look great when I'm stood still. It's just when I'm walking that it's like it's a flapathon. And they have got big hems, so I could have them taken down. I'm pulling them down a little bit. I think they're supposed to be a bit more like a hip, whereas I like wearing things on my waist. No, they're still very flappy. It's too much foot sticking out. Well, that was a great failure. I think I need to get the next length. But let me know what you think. Have I got the length of my jeans all wrong? And should I be wearing this length? They look great when I'm like stood like this. The moment I walk, it honestly gives me the ick. Maybe it'll be okay with slides in spring, summer. Looks cute. I've just finished up my morning health routine and feeling bloomin' good for it. I got up at 5 o'clock this morning, on the road for 6. Pilates done by 8:30. 30 lengths done by 9 o'clock. 10 minutes in the sauna. And then I've gone for a ginger shot and an electrolyte, like the natural electrolyte drink that they have, which was blooming lovely. Now I'm trying to decide whether to drive over to Dalesford now. Usually I drive over there and pick up some meat for the Sunday roast, but we're actually out for a Sunday roast this weekend because it is Ali's stepmom's birthday. So we don't need to do that, but I really wanted to go and sample the bloomin' herb candle that's just been released. You know I love a herby candle. I love anything that smells like a sort of greenhouse with those more sort of savoury notes, and they were not the done thing until recently. Do you remember the one candle that I could find that I liked that was savoury was Abd El Kadar from Sia Trudon, and then I think Beauty Pie had one as well. But yeah, so now they're all the rage, and I've got my diptyque ones, but I just really want to sample them, but I don't know if I can be bothered to drive all the way over there. In fact, you know what, I'm not going to do it because I've got a fitting at TOWCESTER and Hicks later on today for my Harris tweed jacket that I picked up the Harris tweed from Donald John on Harris, and also my linen suit for summer, which is very exciting. So I think I'm just going to head home. I was going to go to Burgess Reclamation Yard and see if I can get some buckets, but I don't know if I can be bothered. I need to check my phone. Where is it? Are they even open today? Yeah, so I think I might head home because it looks like it's actually brightening up, and if it is, I'm getting in that blooming garden. Well, I made it to Burgess Reclamation Yard and I'm in their handmade solid oak kitchen section because one day this is going to be what my kitchen is like, whether that's with a wood worktop, well, definitely a bit of green in there, but I've spotted this. Oh my gosh, this would make such a lovely addition to a kitchen, to have all of your like onions, leeks, fruit, veg on display ready to use, or you could pop it in a pantry as well. But I've just been given a bit of a guided tour of everything that's new here, and oh my goodness, there is so much stuff. Who recognises what the owner calls the Lydia Millen chopping board? He's now got a whole room for them, so I'll take you and show you those. But what I want to do is look at replacing the worktop in my laundry room for this. So I want to find out how much this will be. I actually preferred the one over here, but look at all of this, all of these little butcher's blocks, and he's now making them in a new way so that they're a lot more sturdy. And as you can see, there's some shrinkage on these ones, so these are the older ones, but he's making them different now, so there's no shrinkage, which is very cool. But I want to find out how much this worktop is, because I love this so much. Oh. So these are the oak boards, and I think that probably maybe one, maybe two of these would be enough to replace the worktop, and this is 175 quid. Then you've just got to pay for fitting, and then I could have my shelves put up as well. Oh my gosh, I love this so much. This is the newest edition here, and my jaw literally dropped when I saw these tables. Oh my goodness. If I could justify it, I would 110% replace my table with this one, because this is so much sturdier. Oh my gosh. And they do it in a very Lydia Millen-esque finish, so a bit more knobbly, a little bit more holy, but you can also have it in this lovely buffed and polished finish as well, if you're not into that rustic, or you can have a bit of in between as well. So this is a new little area. They're going to have a fireplace there. They're going to start doing lighting. What an incredible space. And if you've ever wondered where I got my console table from in my hallway, it is from Burgess Reclamation Yard as well. They're very, very cool. Milk churns galore. It is just unbelievable, everything. I always forget how good it is here. Now, I was coming for milk churns, but I do think that I'm going to probably go for some buckets. I might go for milk churns either side of the door, but they have a lot of dolly tubs as well. Look at that for a bloomin' butler's sink. Just absolutely everything. So, so good. This is the chopping board room, and I'm thinking about getting some chopping boards for Ali, but you'll recognise this one from our kitchen. We have a massive one that takes up our entire island. They now do them in many different sizes, and they make them differently so that they don't move, and you've also got them in different colours if you want a lighter version or you want a darker oiled version. There's little small ones that you can just pop onto your island. There's Christmas tree ones, there's round ones, square ones, bread ones. There's a chopping board for bloomin' everything here. And I think I might get some for Ali for doing the pizzas, because they have pizza ones. I have just arrived to TOWCESTER and Hicks. I am struggling with my eyes today. Oh my goodness, I can't wait for them to be back to normal. Ali says it looks like I've been on a 3-day bender or something, but the sun is shining. And I am heading straight in for my first fitting of my linen suit and my Harris tweed blazer, so let's head inside. I've just walked into TOWCESTER and Hicks, and a strategically placed outfit is up here, and I've gone, I'd like one of these, please. I'll take it. This is for a gentleman going to Cheltenham next week, and that's now going on my shopping list. Look at this, and the lining, perfect for Cheltenham. I want the hat as well. So did you make the hat? Yeah. Oh my gosh, so it's like full. Oh my gosh, and you've made the little, yeah. Oh, I love that. That is so gorgeous. You just think of everything.
So you had a Harris tweed made by me before, didn't you?
Was it Harris? Yes, yes,
you did. Yes, you did. So you provided me with it's rather over-labelled, but it's rather nice to have them.
Oh, no, I love it, because this is a special one.
Yeah, this is him, of course.
Yeah,
and obviously us.
Yeah, yeah. This is like, that tells the journey.
Yeah, the journey, what you did, which is a lovely story in itself, isn't it?
Yeah. That is
a lovely shape.
Yeah, that is a fit, isn't it?
Famous saying, could have been made for you, Lydia.
Yeah. Really nice under the arms as well.
Well, you know what I do? High but wide.
Yeah.
So when it's high, it means you can move your arms forward without the sleeves shooting up.
This is spectacular. So you mean I can't take this now?
Of course you can.
Oh, so it's ready to go?
Yeah.
Amazing!
Well, you had no fitting, that's come straight off the pattern.
Right!
With the adjustments that I made to the other check jacket where I let the vent out and sprung it on more.
Yeah, this is what I need, a hat like this. They never fit me like this. That's my size.
Yeah, but the boy said it with your hair, yes.
I'll take it.
You can.
I love the colour. I need that colour with exact copy of this.
And the velvet, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So what happened here is with your cloth, as you know, it turned out to be single width.
Yes.
So, excuse me, let me take this off. So this is, I just about squeezed enough cloth out. I'll try and get you a little waistcoat made. Excuse me.
Yeah, wow. My gosh, I could go riding in this. This is like a proper riding jacket.
Yeah, almost, yes.
So one of the biggest compliments I will ever have is when you guys trust me with big portions of your money. And this coat, apparently she knows that I try on her bits and pieces, is from a lady that comes here and gets lots of pieces made with Jeff and the lads here at TOWCESTER and Hicks, and I'm trying on one of her new coats that she's just had made. Well, this is a little jacket, and every time I'm like, can I steal it? And Jeff's like, no. But the tones of this, oh, and this is so soft. My goodness me. This is just perfect. Well, I think that this just might be the most special, and I think this is the epitome of luxury right here. This particular piece is everything that I would love. Unfortunately, it's not going to be possible, but I would love my wardrobe to be full of, because this is completely and utterly where we get everything wrong when it comes to fashion, and I am so guilty of this. This is not me, you know, thinking that I'm better. We're all just doing our best. This is the ultimate in luxury for me. So I went to the island, to the weaver's house, and chose this Harris tweed from the person who wove it by hand themselves, from the island where the sheep were reared in order to make the yarn for this to be woven by hand. I selected it myself. I have then taken the fabrics and I have gone to a local tailor, someone who has been doing their craft for decades and is a legend in the industry. I will never forget seeing Rhodes Wood mention under a video that Jeff TOWCESTER is a legend in the industry. If you don't know who Rhodes Wood is, he's a gentleman's atelier. He owns a gentleman, I don't know if that's his actual name, Jeremy I think it is, owns a gentleman's atelier in Harrogate, and that really kind of confirmed just how spectacular Jeff is at his craft. And so I have then taken my fabric to Jeff, and we have used my pattern to create a jacket that will live in my wardrobe for the rest of my life, and hopefully into somebody else's life. I chose the Alcantara collar. I've chosen the buttons, the fit, the silhouette, absolutely everything about this jacket. And it has been on a journey which Jeff thought I was nuts, but I wanted every single nod to who played a part in this. So I've got Donald John's details and his little branding there. I've got the Harris tweed branding in there, and then I have Jeff TOWCESTER's. The only thing I'm missing is the hoof print of the sheep that the wool came from. Just give you an idea of how much this would cost. So I bought the fabric for around, I think it ended up being about £100, the fabric. So that was 4 meters, it was single width, and I've had enough to also have a little waistcoat made as well, which is so spectacular. I'm really excited for that to be finished. To take the fabric to a tailor to have it made bespoke is when things are ramped up quite a lot. So to have this, which is called a CMT, I believe, which is a cut, make and trim, that will cost £1,800. Now, that's actually, when you think about it, that is cheaper than going and buying a Celine jacket off the rack, cheaper than my Dior jacket off the rack. And this is fitted to you and in all of the places that you want it to fit. So for me, we know that I have issues with my shoulders. I'm kind of built like a triangle. I really struggle to get suiting to fit me on my shoulders. I'm quite broad like that. So this is perfectly fitted to my shoulders in that way. The fabric itself is just a joy, the richness in it. But what I have created, I am so over the moon with, because this is something that I have already worn. When you're watching this, I have worn this all weekend long. Aside from when I went on a walk with my dad on Saturday, I wore this Saturday evening out for drinks. I wore this Sunday to go for a Sunday roast. And if I wasn't at home, I would wear this today as well. But I'm going to pop it on and show you. I'm teaming it with a pair of Beaufort and Blake jeans. These are the ones, I've got about 3 pairs of these. And these are my summer staple when it comes to jeans. They're the perfect length, really nice rise, and a really comfortable denim as well. So I've got about 3 pairs of these. And it just offsets this rich tone so beautifully, and it's just such an easy wear. I am completely and utterly over the moon with this, and this is something that you can wear in spring, summer. If it's a little bit chillier, you can go with a tweed wool coat, because that's the thing about wool and tweed, is that it is designed as like a keep warm thing, but you can also use this in the sort of milder temperatures as well. I wore it with my little Birkin, but one thing that I think I might try and do is I might try and contact Donald John and see if I can get some more fabric and have some matching trousers made, because I've got the waistcoat, which really ramps it up and makes this a special outfit. I know that this style is not for everyone. I really enjoy heritage fabrics and heritage styles, and I can't help it. It makes me feel nice. So having that waistcoat to really step it up, I think with a pair of trousers in the same Harris tweed would be really something to wear to events over sort of the spring, summer, like maybe a winter Cheltenham or whatever. I can't tell you how happy I am with this, and it's also really, it's very interesting for me, because I mentioned this a couple of videos ago when I bought the Herd jumper. And it was really nice to see the dialogue that came from that, because there is this knee-jerk reaction from people, and I know that obviously there is a cost of living crisis and everyone's disposable income is different. But when the points that I made in that video, when people are paid the proper amount for the craft that they are producing, when workers are paid what they are supposed to be paid, when the actual value of the cloth and the value of the craft, etc., is paid in the way that it should, the items of clothing get more expensive. We've got so used to not paying that for clothing that we've got accustomed to it, and rightfully so. That's not our fault. But I think having this chat, and then people talking about it themselves and saying, no, that is what you should be paying when you want the quality materials, the quality craft, the quality produce, and something that's going to last a long time in your wardrobe, that is what you're going to pay. And it was really nice to see that, because I know that it can be very easy to just go, oh, well, you wear this, that, and the other. But I don't think it's all or nothing. I think it's a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know, I'll always find myself shopping on those more affordable places as well. But there has to be the space for those pieces that you're like, no, I'm going to pay what this is worth. And even in the luxury space, that's not the case anymore. You know, I don't know what the fabrics are in some of the luxury jackets that we're buying nowadays. And sometimes it does have to be I don't know, like a polyester sometimes. I understand that. But there's always, when you like the styles that I do, you get to go for these more functional and just stunning silhouettes like this. So I am over the moon with this. I don't think I will stop wearing this until the sun comes out. It goes in my wardrobe so nicely as well. It just works with all of the tones, and that's really something that I'm trying to you know, focus on a little bit more and just do more of. I've got some little Gianvito Rossi pointed flats that I've had for millions of years, I've never worn, and they go beautifully with this jacket as well. So very, very happy about that. One of the things that I think that there has always been a bit of dialogue around me is relatability, and there'll be people that are sat there watching this now thinking, oh, this is not relatable. She's wearing a £1,800 jacket. This is just not relatable. But what I want you to know is that I'm not wearing a different outfit every single day. You will see me wearing these items and getting the cost per wear out of them. My channel, I really look to champion things that are going to help keep crafts alive, help keep heritage fabrics. You know, this is Harris tweed. This is the only fabric whose process is protected and has a law to protect it. That is so, so special. And so you might be sat there thinking that's a £1,800 jacket, but the mission is that we keep these things alive and that these things are championed, especially as part of like British history and heritage. I think that's so, so important. So whilst I'm not wearing a new Dior bag every day of the week, I might have been a few years ago, but that's certainly not the case anymore. I've got my stuff much more edited down. I really show you the items that I wear and get the cost per wear out of. And I'm not there at the forefront of every fashion trend. And actually, arguably, in my world, that is what I think that we should be championing more of, not the relatability of the fast moving stuff. This is a really good message to be sharing with people, supporting tailors, supporting crafts, supporting farming. There's so many things that I have supported with just this one piece of clothing that is going to be worn and loved so much through my channel and also just general life. So that is the ultimate for me when it comes to luxury, and I'm so lucky that I've been able to share this journey of like me finding the fabric, taking it and showing you the finished piece. So when I pick up the waistcoat, when it's all finished, I will be sure to show you, and I'll let you know if I'm able to track down any more of this fabric so that I can get some trousers made. But love it, love it, love it, love it.